Welcome to Game Day with Heavy Cardboard, where we teach, play, and discuss medium and heavy strategy board games, war games, 18xx, and the occasional thinky filler. Welcome to day 6 of the hashtag HC Advent, our advent of streaming that we have going on. Today we are going to, I'm actually really excited about this because the designer of the game that we're featuring is here with us, as well as a patron and subscriber.
How cool is that?
To what it is that we do. So tonight, it's going to be Dokmus, designed by Mikko Punakallio and published by Lotta Pellet, as well as Renegade Games. So we originally streamed this before we had this studio, and we streamed it when we were still down in the basement. So we're going to give it its proper due tonight. This is definitely one of our favorite thinky fillers, period. Also, one of the better thinky fillers that came out from Essen last year as well. So I'm your host, Edward Euler, joined by a very familiar cast of characters.
Matt McChesney.
Sweater Mike.
Banker Dave with haircut.
Yeah, seriously, no longer a long-haired hippie tonight, huh? Right?
Right.
All right, so tonight we're going to be playing not just Dokmus, but we are playing with the expansion Return of Erefel. I'm going to go ahead and teach the base game, but also afterwards teach the expansion rules, very low overhead. If you're not familiar with Dokmus, adding the expansion is not going to trip you up at all. Anything else?
Before you get to the teach.
See, and that's why I have these guys, right? That's why you guys get paid the big bucks. So we have, as you guys saw right there down at the bottom, today's game surplus discount code is HC Agra Quinted. So this is in anticipation of our Agra stream. Carmen and Elaine, $15 off a copy of Agra. It's good for 36 hours. So there you go. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Lots of Essen releases. So Agra and tonight's Return of Erefel, Dokmus expansion. So let's go ahead and get to it, shall we? All right. All right, so as I said, we are going to start by teaching you guys the base game to begin with, all right? So the goal of the game is victory points. So we have the victory point track here, which will not be used throughout the entire game. All points are scored at the end of the game. So this is actually going to be covered up during the game with the cameras. But as it is, the goal of the game is victory points. We're going to gain victory points by placing our tokens, or we're probably going to call them tokens, tents, markers, something along those lines. Out here on the board, you're going to get points for placing them on ruins or adjacent to temples. And there are two types of temples in this game. There are small temples and there are large temples in the game. Also, we're going to be sacrificing our tokens, which will be stored here, and there's going to be a majority scoring that goes for that. Last but not least, there's going to be final scoring for if everybody has, or for every tile that you were adjacent to a temple on, up to 8 tiles, you're going to score points for that as well. So the game takes place over a number of rounds. So it's going to go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's an 8th round, which I'm using my pieces out here as examples. There's going to be 8 rounds in the game. Each round is going to follow the exact same 3 steps. There's going to be a guardian card selection, right here, guardian or gods, we'll call them. Then phase 2 is our player turns. We're going to be placing 3 of our markers or 3 of our tents out here on the board. And then finally, end of round, we're going to give back our guardian cards. We're going to shuffle them up. We'll begin a new round. Pretty simple. So phase 1 is the guardian card selection. So when we choose these, whoever is the first player, whoever has the first player marker, which Mikko, I apologize, we're not going to use that. We're going to use the challenge coin. Whoever is the first player is going to select all of the guardians, select one of them, pass the other clockwise around the table, and everyone's going to select one. These are all going to have some sort of rule breaker. I'll cover these once I talk about how the game actually plays. So that's step 1. The second phase are the player turns. So in turn order, we're going to place tents out here on the board. So the game begins, we're going to seed the board to where each of us is going to place one tent out here on one of the edges of one of the four corner boards. So after we have done that, you must place adjacent to an existing tent. So for instance, if on my turn, I placed at the very beginning of the game, I placed the tent there. These would not be on the board. It's just talking about this one down here at the bottom here. I have to place adjacent to this tent. So the placement rules are as follows. Out here in a meadow adjacent, there's no effect. Just you place adjacent, no harm, no foul. Okay? A mountain cannot be crossed. So anywhere you see a mountain out here cannot be placed. You cannot place a marker on it at all. Cannot be crossed. Everything in this game is always orthogonal as well. Volcanoes look like mountains, but they have a little bit of lava in the middle of them. If I had placed there previously, and I place one on a volcano, that gives me access to the next space adjacent to it. And I should note that tiles adjacency does count. So here, to move to this tile, it's as if they were touching tiles. However, at the end of your turn, this guy is sacrificed. He gets inflamed. He sacrifices himself so his brethren can then move further along. That's what happens with volcanoes. Any question on those?
Does it go cross turns? For instance, if you've played your
No, at the end of your turn, it gets
wimulated.
yes.
right.
All right.
So there's no, last time I was there, I can go there.
And as Dave says, volcanoes look like mountains, but they have a little bit of lava in the middle of them. Also good advice for hiking.
Fortunately, we don't have that in Colorado.
Anymore. All right, so now let's talk about temples. When we're placing out here, temples give no one can actually place directly onto a temple. However, it gives you free placement orthogonally adjacent from a temple. So for instance, if my first placement was there, I then can place right there, cannot place on either side of the mountain because there is, on either side of the temple because of the mountains blocking it. However, I can freely pass through as a legal placement onto a meadow adjacent to a temple. Make sense? You can also freely place onto an additional temple. If there were temples on the edges next to one another, you could then go adjacent to that one as well. A free pass through. You can also move into forests. So let's talk about forests now. If I had placed here on a previous turn, it's now my turn again. To go into a forest, the first thing you must do is sacrifice one of your three to enter a forest, and then you now have free range within the forest to freely place the future markers as long as it's orthogonally adjacent in the same forest. Forests do cross from tile to tile, and I'm trying to see if we have any here in our setup, and we actually don't. So this is a random setup. If, however, and I haven't talked about this yet, nope, that still is, yeah, right there. So if the tiles were adjacent to one another here, this forest then continues into this massive forest all through there as well. So once you're in a forest, once you have paid the one sacrifice, you've paid the ultimate price with one of your temples, and you're in that forest, you can then freely expand in a forest around there. Any questions on forest? Cool. So that brings us to water. You cannot place on water, but you can freely go through water after one sacrifices, just like into a forest. So with this tent here, if I were to sacrifice one of my tents, I then can freely enter a forest. You do not have to do a double sacrifice, meaning I don't have to sacrifice for water and then for entering a forest. You only have to do it for the first one that you cross. So in this case, there into the forest, good to go. Now I'm in a forest and I'm free to go and expand from there. However, I could have gone into this spot because the water, all adjacent, orthogonally adjacent water does connect. If you'll notice, none of it does at the beginning of the game, but that very well may change as we go on. The last spot that we need to talk about are ruins. So ruins look like kind of a Stonehenge-ish kind of looking area. There's one on each tile. As we go along, you guys can see them. Whenever you land, you place a tent onto a ruined spot, you then get a special ability, which is going to be the same as what the different guardians are. So now would be a good time to talk about the guardians. So let me clear all those off. So the guardians. There are 5 in the base game, and there is a 6th one in the expansion I'll talk about here in a little bit. The first guardian gives you first player. That's it. And you're going to go first, because this is also the turn order in which we take our actions. So if I am the first player, I can take the first tile to ensure that I am first on the next turn, as well as I will go first on this turn. Pretty simple. The second guardian allows you, in between, before or after placing a tent, he allows you to move one tile orthogonally adjacent. So right now at the beginning of the game, this one, this one, this one, or this one can move one space. One space being kind of like what Mike had shown earlier. You could do like so, you could move like so, etc. The important thing to remember is all tiles must stay within this 3x3 grid that we see here. So that is the second guardian. The third guardian, who looks really cool in his purple outfit and skin, I guess it were, it allows you to move one tent. So this gives you a luxury of an existing tent normally cannot move. However, you could freely move one tent onto one adjacent spot. Now, obviously you cannot move into water, because then you would have to sacrifice it, but you can, if you were in a spot orthogonally adjacent to a forest, you could use this special ability to then move that tent into a forest and not have to sacrifice. Pretty simple, pretty good. That's what he allows you to do. And again, remember, it's as if all of these tiles are adjoined. They're just, we have a little space between them for movement. And why we're going to want that movement is because of the fourth guardian. This allows you to turn one tile 90 degrees. So for instance, if I wished, if I started on this tile, I then could play that to move that, and oh, hey, look at that. I'm now orthogonally adjacent to water, so now maybe I could cross over here, etc., etc. So one tile, 90 degrees in either direction, clockwise or counterclockwise. We good? All right, last but not least is the number 5. You go last, but you can do any one of any of the actions that I just mentioned except for the first player action. So you can either move a tent orthogonally adjacent one spot, or you can turn a tile 90 degrees, or you can move one. One other thing that I wanted to point out, let me double back onto number 2. If someone had moved this on a previous turn, and now this tile can freely jump over a tile like so.
It wraps around.
Yes. Okay. And then these two could then move, in if you wish. So that's how that works. And that is pretty much the entire game outside of final scoring. Now, normally I would skip final scoring until we get there. However, it has such a huge impact on what it is that we're going to be doing. I feel like we need to cover it right now. And I should note that we have these real handy-dandy little player aids that are available on BGG that we did a little bit of adjustment to, but yeah, really, really good. So I'll go through the scoring. Every tent that is on top of a ruin is going to score 1 point. Every temple that has one of your tents, one or more of your tents orthogonally adjacent to it, is going to score 2 points for a small temple, 3 points for a large temple. So for instance, if I had like this down here, that one of these tents will score, the other one will not, because it's the temple that's scoring, it's not the tents, okay? So, for instance, this would score me 2 points. This would score me an additional 3 points, because I'm now orthogonally adjacent to a temple. Any questions on that? All right. Every map tile on which a player has discovered all of the temples, and by discovered, I mean orthogonally adjacent to all the temples on the map. So if it were something like this down in the bottom right, all 4 temples I'm next to, I would score 8 points for that. And then for every, there is final scoring for how many tiles do you have a tent on that is adjacent to a temple. This is, I really want to stress this, it's 27 points if you are adjacent on all 8 tiles. 22 for 7, 18 for 6, 14 for 5, 10 for 4, but you're not going to win. You need to be on the majority of the tiles adjacent to temples. And that right there is how to play Dokmus. Any questions? Oh, wait, there is one more thing. Sacrifice tokens. Because we are 4 players, whoever has sacrificed the most tokens will score 5 points. Second place will score 3. Third place, 1. Fourth, thank you for playing. Whoever has the most points wins. Cool? Good?
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a whole lot of nodding here, but
Yes.
that's it.
Yes,
All right.
very good.
This
All right.
game has something for every kind of believer. Flat Earth, plate tectonics, and old gods.
All right. So now, last but not least, we'll go over the expansion. So the expansion covers all of 2 pages. We can whip through this really, really quick. So as we choose gods, there are 5 gods. The expansion brings in Erefel. So what does Erefel do? The first sacrifice that you make on a turn, whether it's to go across into water or to go into forest, you don't have to pay. That's what Erefel is. Notice it's a question mark, though, to where 4 of us, each of us will take gods. So let's say the 2 and the 4 were the only ones that were selected. Whatever is the higher number of the not selected gods, that's what number Erefel falls into for turn order. Okay?
Yep.
So if the 1 and the 2, Erefel would be 2 and would actually go first, because that means
Nobody
nobody had
takes
selected
1.
1 or 2. So that's Erefel. All right? On the tiles, now I should note that 4 of the tiles that are in this game currently are the 4 expansion tiles. So this is a base tile, this is a base tile, this is a base tile, this is a base tile. These 4 are different in one way. They have roads on them, as you can see. So roads allow you easier movement. So anytime a player would place a token on a space with a road, so for instance, red here, it's his turn. He wants to place on a road. If he wanted to place in this spot, the advantage of a road is you can go 1 space further, so that adjacency no longer comes into play. In the base game, you would have to place there. But because he is along a road, Matt could place there, or could place there. And then following up on that, on his second placement, he could place either there, 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 or there. All that makes sense? So that's what roads do. The other advantage of roads is you'll notice that in some places, roads cut through a forest. To place on a road in a forest is free because it's a road. But alas, you are now in a forest. You did not have to sacrifice because you're in the forest and you're on a road. Good on you. So you get the best of both worlds. Any questions on that?
Yes. Matt's on a road. Can he place here?
That is not on a road space.
So you miss the skipping when you go off.
When you go off the road,
Got it.
They're not 4x4 tents.
here's
off-road,
what the rules explicitly say. If a player would place a token on a space with a road, that player can instead place that token 1 space further along the same road. So because we're not going off-roading, in that case, that would not apply in that example.
Got
Cool?
it.
Good?
Yeah, we're not being quiet, we're just being attentive.
There you go. And Miko's helping out in chat. Awesome. Thank you, Miko.
Yeah,
All
thanks
right.
for the love, Andrew.
All right. So the last thing to talk about with the expansion is the expansion comes with 4 different scenarios. So we are not going to randomly select this because honestly, I'm excited more about 2 of them than the other 2. But all 4 sound good. So let's start with the easiest one. Is the wind scenario. So the wind, if a player would place a token on a space with a road, he gets to go 2 spaces further instead of just 1. If you place in a meadow, you can go 1 additional space, just like the base game with the expansion with the normal road. So you can go 1 further in a meadow, 2 further on a road. That's the wind one.
Straight line.
Yes.
Okay.
The sun scenario is if you place on a ruin that is orthogonally adjacent to where the sun tile is. So this just fills up the empty space that's in there. So it is still, for all intents and purposes, a blank space. So if that were to move in, this would then take that place, etc. If a ruin is on any tile that is orthogonally adjacent to the sun tile, the player may then trigger the ruin on any of the 8 tiles that's out here. That seems pretty deep, I think. The other 2 that are available in this is ice, and ice makes water act like it's ice, so you cannot turn direction. So for instance, if you were here, your next placement through the temple across water, you don't have to sacrifice because you're not drowning. You're going straight across into that place. You cannot change direction, whereas in the base game, you could come out of the water wherever you wanted. However, in ice, that's not the case. All right? Cool? And then last but not least, we have the one that we're going to play with tonight, which is water. The water scenario tile counts as a large waterway. It touches all of these orthogonally. This is one huge lake.
Doesn't have to be straight.
Oh, it doesn't have to be in a straight line. Thank you, Miko, when it comes to ice. Okay, cool.
Road.
When it comes to
Road, for road. Sorry. Thank you, for wind. All right, so the scenario that we're going to play tonight is water. So this is one big lake. So I have this set up originally because I wanted to show how clever this game can be, especially with this tile. With this being one enormous lake, if I have one here, I would have to sacrifice one into the lake, so one would come out here. But then I could come out through the water, through the temple, onto the road. Well, that road now allows me to place one further, so I actually could place either there or I could place there, all from this place, to be able to go through the water, through the temple, onto the road, and go one further spot.
Yeah, that's sick.
Or I could go freely into the forest, onto the road as well.
Very nice.
Okay, so that's the scenario that we're going to play with tonight, along with the god of Erefel. All right? So, any questions locally here? And while we reset, I'll go ahead and bring up the cameras.
Did you go over the bonus for having temples?
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
I missed it.
No worries.
So historically, the major point contributor is discovering
One
temples
temple on each
tile. And I'm not sure I've been in a game where someone has discovered all of the temples on any tile.
Okay. All right.
I have.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Robin.
All right. So
It seems like with the lake, this is going to be and the roads, it seems like this is going to be a very high mobility game.
it definitely seems that way. So I will bring the chat up there for y'all. And because we're not going to use the scorecard during the game, go ahead and bring everything up there. All right. Cool. Welcome. All right. So we'll randomize turn order. Everybody, Mike, if you want to just shuffle those up. Any questions from Slack, or I'm sorry, from chat, from the
Red.
Peanut Gallery? Red. All right, so Matt is going to become first player. You got all 6. Knock yourself out. Choose one, and it's
Well, we
clockwise.
have to
Oh,
close.
In reverse turn order, I believe it is, for the original placement. Let me double check for that. The player who has the talisman will be the first to choose one of the guardian cards. Each player chooses their starting position. Yep, last player. So you choose. So it must be on one of the corner tiles, and it must be a meadow or a forest in which you place. Every single time I've played this game, there has been something really clever, like, oh wow, I never thought of that, or I never saw that before. So I'm really excited about this.
I'm next.
Yep.
Oh, I got the road.
Well, if that's the case, I'll go ahead and just get next to the temple to begin with. And Matt's only choice is this tile, because he has the honor of going first. I'll actually scoot these out a little. So, all right, good. All right, now in turn order, we choose our God tile. We'll turn them face down, and then if you would, here we'll do this. Matt, if you'll put yours here. Mike, you have plenty of room at the top there. You, Dave, and me there. So normally we would just discard the tile that's left, but if somebody chooses Erefel, we need to turn what's left face up, and then we look for number one.
So we'll turn it face up anyway,
Yep.
right?
So turn those up, Dave, or those. There you go. So number 2 and number 3 were not chosen. That means Erefel is number 3. Somebody chose number 1. And nope, just number 1. Just number 1. There we go. So Dave, you're up first. So you take the first player marker and you lay your first tents.
Well, I took it because I wanted to go here.
Yeah.
Skipping on the road.
There you go.
Puts
Yep.
me next to a neat little thing there. Then I'm going to go here for my second one. And here for my third.
Okay.
Well done.
And so number 2 and number 3 are out. So I have Erefel. So my first sacrifice does not cost. So I will, first off, go into the water. Do not have to pay because of Erefel. I will end up on the ruin. When you step on a ruin, you get to do anything of the 5, or I guess in this case 6 now, gods or guardians. So I will go ahead and turn this one 90 degrees. Now, for my second placement, I do have to sacrifice because Erefel is only good for 1 use on that. So I will sacrifice there, and I will end up on the road there next to that temple. Done. All right, number 4.
It'd be me.
Let's do this. There we go.
All right, I'm over here, and I can turn it 90 degrees, so I shall.
All right, yeah, place your bets, and Dave, you cannot pass through the buildings of other players on a road. Other players do block that. Sorry, I messed you up there.
Yeah, I know.
You're pretty layout of tents.
I'm gonna go
Oh,
one
I
there,
thought you were talking to me.
Oh, sorry. All right,
I'm
gotcha.
going, what?
then sacrifice, and
Into the forest, sacrifice, and 3. Done. And that leaves number 5. Mike.
The Swiss Army knife of the
Actually,
old
you want to
gods.
push it up a little bit further on top of the scoring because the camera's low. There you go. So everybody can see it. All right.
Now, did you say that the action can be taken at any point before, during, or after your placement of your 3 tents?
Or in between placement of tents, but it can only be done once, correct?
All right, I'll remember that for later. I don't think I can exploit that just yet. But let's see.
Well, you could turn that 90 degrees clockwise right now for...
I certainly could. Let's just do that. This is the funky plate tectonics part of the game, which is awesome.
All right, so you've used your special ability, 3 tents.
All right. Bloop, 1 in the drink. Comes out on the other side next to the big temple. Walks onto the road, slides next to the big temple.
Well done. All right.
Got one more.
Nope, he sacrificed. That's
Oh,
his third
that's
one.
right.
Into the drink.
All right, so that's the end of the round. First player gets all of the god tiles now, including the ones that were discarded. He selects one, and rinse and repeat. Do this until 8 rounds are done. 1 down, 7 to go. Anthony's going with Klaus. Sweater Mike. So, speaking of which, you know what I got in the mail just before we went live?
Oh, what's that?
From Cool Stuff Inc. Pixie Queen.
Oh, that's right.
They're the distributor for the Kickstarter. I totally forgot I backed it. We got a review copy. So that means we're going to have a giveaway later. Not tonight, but later this month for Pixie Queen. So that's pretty cool. Looking forward to that. All right.
Let's do...
I bet you Miko would either be miserable to play against in this because he would crush you, or it'd be a lot of fun. Well, it probably would be a lot of fun just while he's crushing you playing this, I imagine.
I think it'd be better if he was drinking wine.
Yes.
Every time you drew a god, you had to take a drink of wine.
A drink of wine wouldn't be bad if you were doing a shot. That's Friday. Everybody will be drinking.
Go into the drink, take a drink.
Right, there you go, right? So obviously, I know what everyone chose. I don't know who chose them, but I know what everyone chose. So now, looking at this, if I do not choose to go first, I will go last again next round. Is that really a big deal? I don't think so. Actually, I will go ahead and take that. So 1 and 3 are not going to be selected this round. So here, we'll put them there. So that means Erefel is going to be number 3. So number 2. Oh, hey, not me. Who's number 2?
Zombicide was mentioned. We haven't streamed that. Is that too light?
I just don't know if I want to play it, is the question. All right, you got number 2, so you can move 1 tile. So the lake moves. You suck, dude. Glory to Rome.
Game. Oh, glory to Rome
Already.
Yep.
All right.
I really thought that I would be able to do what it is I wanted to do. I cannot now.
All right, so 1 in the drink. Sploosh, sploosh, click.
There you go. Yep.
And
Oh, that sucked. Really changed what I was going to do.
let's go into...
All right, now you get 1 additional action.
the dolmens, and I get to choose any of the rotate, translate, slidey actions, is it?
Yep, you either can move a tent, you can rotate a tile, you can move a tile. What else am I forgetting? Move a tent, rotate a tile, or move a tile.
Yep.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
I'm going to move a tile. I'm going to rotate a tile. I don't want to move the lake away from me. It's too much fun. Oh, look, a road connects.
Not getting better. Nope. All right, so that was number 2. Number 3, Erefel.
That'd be me. My plan has changed like 3 times since Mike's been moving things. but we're still good. I'm going to go through the temple.
Yep,
that
to the
guy.
ruins. So now you immediately take whatever the ruin action you choose. That's the only time. Ruins must take place as soon as you place
Right.
on them.
Let's go on over there.
You gave me a road, dude. You gave me 2 roads.
He did. That's gross.
Then this one's going through the water, but not being sacrificed.
Into the volcano? Into the volcano?
No, right there.
You're not a true believer.
No.
The joyride wasn't necessarily as exciting as it could have been, Cabralicus, today. Yesterday's was a lot more fun. Because it's so cold, the tire pressure, I need to air up the tires because the TPMS light on the BMW loaner came on, so it said you had to keep it below 80.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Let's see if we get the attack of the spam bots now that you've said BMW.
hey, hush. Hush. Do not summon them.
Yeah, so got one more. Where is
That
he
was
going?
pretty
Where is he
amazing
going?
watching it. Watching it.
I wish I could sacrifice another one, but we'll just, we'll go there.
All right. So that's number 3. So that would be me. Number 4. A lot less exciting now with my rotate. Whee! Although not the end of the world though. So I have 2 options that I'm thinking about. I could rotate either of these, either way to face north, because that's going to allow me. I'm going to have to sacrifice a tent no matter what. However, you know what? This puts me next to a road, so I'm actually going to go ahead and take my rotate first. And then,
Getting some love from Rob now.
let's see. There are my 3, so I'm going to sacrifice one into the drink. And then this guy goes onto the road, but he immediately could move. However, he will not since he's adjacent to a temple. So that gets sacrificed. I get one more placement. And you know what? I know it's not going to be there when I get back to where I can go there, but I will go ahead and just place there and done. So we're looking for number 5. That means it's Dave.
There's my number 5, and I'm could immediately move this back because that messed up my plan. So if you put that one there. Oh, I guess I could reach.
Sploosh.
Oh, hey, shocker. I'm out here on the outside again. Thanks a lot, fellas.
Edge of the world. Something to believe in.
So there's 1. There's 2. And there's 3.
All right. Dave is first player again until someone takes it from him.
Oh, that's nice.
All right.
God, I'm next to the lake again. Oh my gosh. What am I going to do?
But I love how I started way down here, over here on the corner, and now I'm up
No,
here,
you
I'm
started
here,
over
I'm
there.
over there. Oh, yeah, I started there, so, but the point
Yeah.
remains.
Yeah.
So for those in the Peanut Gallery, have you all played this, at least the base game? If not, does it make sense as far as everything but scoring, now that you've seen pretty much everything? Choose poorly, brothers. Choose poorly. Yeah, every single time I play this, I see something new. Every single time. And that's
Play it-
without the expansion, I'm
You
saying.
should play it with Robin.
Oh, she's a savant. Any of these midweight games, she's a savant.
You learn so much.
All right, so I was last. So number 1 and number 3 were not selected. So Erefel will be number 3 again. So that means number 2 is up first. And here comes another earth-shattering move.
Slidemus
Or
Rex.
yeah, right. Or a Dokmus shattering move.
All right, so move number 1 will be to place a tent and slide it over here.
Welcome, Cormac.
To the forest. Then we will exercise the power of the gods.
You sacrifice one for that? Oh, no, you
I
did
was
not.
in the
No,
forest.
hold on. If you're in the forest there, how did you make it?
I'm in the forest.
But you still have to.
No, he's in
It's
the
the same
forest.
forest.
It's the same forest.
He
I
just
guess-
lit his guy.
You can't
Oh, you
slide
don't
it.
slide
you
out.
can't slide it because there's no road. That's what I'm asking.
Gotcha.
Because I looked away for a minute. So that was the first placement, yes?
No, this was the first, was it?
No.
He still got 2, so he only placed 1.
Right, he placed one.
I placed that one.
Right.
So
Okay.
let's reconsider that
Okay.
for a moment.
Remember, just like the example we showed up here, because it's only if you advance on the same road.
But because he's in the forest here, he wouldn't have to sacrifice.
He wouldn't have to sacrifice, but he would have to
place.
place a second
Right.
one. Exactly. Yep.
All right, then let's do this. One in the drink. Boonk.
Okay.
And now, let's slide this tile
I'm just going back and forth.
Right.
over here.
Well, at least I'm not on the edge of the world anymore, so there's that. But
You're back where you're back where you want to be.
nope, not anymore.
You're back where you wanted to be previously.
Now then, the last move is onto the road and next to the temple.
Yep. That's totally legit. Well done, sir. So, Erefel is next. That'd be me, because I was going to go into the water. Right there, into the water. The water that's no longer there.
What water?
Yep. You
Keep moving that away from me. It's like, really?
Oof. Okay. So what do we got? So it looks like for my moves, we're gonna go. So temple, temple, temple. So there's 3 of them. So there's 1. There's 2 to go on to the ruin. So now.
Tense. You're a
Uh,
bad man. You're a bad man.
Oh, there we go. So because I went onto the ruin, I get 1 movement of my choice. That will go there. I have 1 tent left. I will use Erefel's special ability to not sacrifice into the drink.
Uh-huh.
And let's go ahead and just put it right there. Done. What? Yes.
Let's see. I believe I'm next at number 4.
God, now you're on 5. You're ahead of me. Darn you.
But I'm not next to a temple yet on that one. Yeah, we played the hell out of this game after Essen last year, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Get to move 1.
And I dig the scenarios, and I'm excited to be able to try all 4 of the different scenarios. But I think the water, the big lake, just there's something about that really appealed to me the most out of all 4 of them.
Yeah. that
Thank you, Miko. Miko says, "Good move, Edward."
Mhm.
All right.
So that's my 90. I'm going to place 1 here. 1 here. Yeah.
No, it blocks the move, Vicky, in that example. So, for instance, continue your turn, Dave. If Matt had a tent here, I would not be able to move straight across this way. I would have to come around. You can never move through tents.
And 1 there.
Okay? All right, done. And number 5. Oh, hey!
Hey,
Apparently someone
surprise.
was not being attentive enough during the explanation.
Ba-dum-bum.
Try the veal.
Right, be here all week.
Well, put that one there, just to grab it while it's
Get on another
get
tile.
on the
you
low-hanging
betcha.
fruit.
Right.
We're now all 4 on there. All 4 on there.
Oh, Miko says the game idea actually came from a children's toy sliding puzzle where you had the 4x4 grid numbers 1 to 15 in the empty space. Yeah, I totally get that. The puzzles that you, yeah, I remember that. Okay, very cool.
Right. So this one is getting turned 90.
And same thing, Vicky, if it were your own tent, you would be able to place orthogonally
Sacrifice
adjacent
one.
to it, so you would be fine to do it if it were your
And
own.
over there.
Yep.
Okay.
Lovely.
All right. That's the end of that.
Now you're on 5 tiles.
I get to choose.
Tiles, fellas? Or, so we have, you can always tell how many rounds you have left by how many sets of 3 you have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds left. And it's striking, like, before I knew anything about this game, just the aesthetic of how it looked. Like if you were to take a camera shot of like just right there with the different tents, that just looks interesting to me. Like how did they get there? How did, you know? So yeah, that's what originally drew me to the game, and then picked up a review copy of it at Essen at 2016. Like I said, we played the hell out of it within our own group. Once we started streaming stuff in February, this was early on, and then
And honestly, probably played the hell out of it just because it was in between other games. Like,
right, it was perfect for
yeah.
that. I mean, it's 40-minute filler or so thereabouts. Obviously, it might be a little longer with the stream, but
Lots of twiddly things to do with your mind. It's
yes, it
fantastic.
really is. Really? Okay. Well. Oh, so here's something that just occurred to me. So I'll think out loud for everybody, so you guys don't listen. So 3, 4, and 5 are what's available. So if I were to take 5, that would leave Erefel at number 4. If I take 3 or 4, that means Erefel goes last because they have the number that what is the highest one. I think that's kind of interesting. Actually, if that's the case, I'll go ahead and take 4, so no one knows that. So I'll just place that there. So 3 and 5 are left, which means Erefel will go last. And so number 1, as long as it wasn't Dave, I was in favor of that.
I
Okay.
support this as well.
Right. All right.
But look how long it lasted.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
All right. Tent number 1 goes to the other side of this major temple. Number 2 goes in the drink. Number 3 comes out over here.
And yeah, Paul says it should be easier to be on all 8 tiles in the water scenario. I agree, but I think it's dynamic, and I think it lends well to the stream. So
This
number
works
2.
out. Number 2. First one right there. Second one sacrificed here. And then we'll come out on the road and go there.
Well done.
And I still get the slide one. I didn't really even need to, but I'm gonna. And
Cormac says the left side of the screen is so much more disorganized than the right, meaning my tents, compared to the organization that you people have over there. You CDO people. You animal. You monster. I love it. All right.
Is it time for me to do my Sheldon impression now?
This is really mean. The fact that
Yes.
mountain is right there next to the water now.
Yes.
Thanks, Miko. And by thanks, I mean not.
You can go through the volcano. If
Yeah.
you're a true believer.
But no, I can't because it blocks by the mountain. It blocked by the tent, so I can't.
No,
That doesn't
through the
work. either.
volcano into the ocean.
Oh, I'm not red. I'm coming
Oh,
at it. I'm
excuse
trying to get into it the other way. So number 4.
Oh, they're
All
all
right.
blocked off from that water.
That's
aren't
what
they?
I'm saying. That's devious. However, we could. Okay. So let's see. All right. So for my 1 and goes into the forest. That would be 2. Oh, here we go. I think this will work. Yeah. So 1 into the drink, which brings me bloop, 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 onto the forest. You don't have to sacrifice a second one. Oh, that doesn't work for what I'm trying to do. I need a 4th one. Check that. So I will do rotate first.
That's what Miko was suggesting.
There. So
Excellent.
that's 1. So we're on that tile. There, 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 there. Still not there. So I have these 3 that I'm not on.
You're here.
Yeah, well, next to a temple. And another devious, you got mountains right here on both these spots coming out of the water. So realistically what my options are right now are to go onto the road there, to be next to the temple, but I'm already kind of on that space. I'm not even on this tile, so I think I will go ahead and sacrifice there, and then I will go ahead and come out there to where I'm positioned for the ruin for the next turn. Done. You guys want to organize that so people can count easier? Rotate better.
So I don't have to sacrifice.
So the first one, correct. All right.
So there's 1.
Hold on. How'd you get there?
What?
You have to be there first. There you go. That's
All right.
2. Don't have to sacrifice because of Erefel.
Right.
Okay.
I was just so excited that I got to jump up next to a temple. Let's see. And then I'm going to go there.
You rotated the bottom left counterclockwise. So there. Oh, good call. I could have gotten onto that one. Good call.
Next, you would have to sacrifice through
An
the
alchemist.
forest into water.
There you
Water.
go. Good call.
So
that's
there's my
it.
3.
Okay. All right. Mike. 4 rounds left, fellas.
An analytical chemist, really?
Yeah, and actually I'm only on 4, so play better. Play better.
Yes. What will be my
Actually,
evil plan this time?
Let's go this way. So 4 rounds. There we go. I really think this game is just all kinds of clever. So I'm curious, Miko, do you have future expansion plans for this, or is that the only one?
The next expansion should be 3 levels,
Don't.
and then you can move up and down.
Yeah, that. So when Miko and Albin come together, it then becomes 3D Dokmus.
Yeah.
Oh. Steady long, steady wrong.
Yep. Let's just go with this.
Okay. That's okay. Here. Perfectly spaced now. That better, Andrew? No plans at the moment. Depends on how popular the game gets in the US. We've tried. We've talked it up on the podcast, and now that people are seeing it for the second time out here, I'm curious for those watching then that haven't played it. Have you heard of Dokmus beforehand? Before this? So where are we? That'll do.
He's thought of the 3 levels apparently. I'd play the hell out of that. I'd give it a
So I
shot
can
certainly.
be back to first player.
No changes for in-game scoring, Carmen. Just the tiles, the road tiles, the scenarios, and Erefel, the new god. Okay.
I think I want to go first, so I'm going to take number 2.
Oh, apparently Amanda just dropped the first look of Keeper. that we recorded. All right, cool.
Which allows me to slide a tile.
Nobody.
You guys working so hard now. You're releasing stuff as you're making.
There is definitely a lot of content coming out this month for folks.
God.
This is why we can't have nice things, Dave.
I don't even know. I was around there somewhere.
Oh God.
I was next to that temple right there on that road.
Somebody
100%
back it
for
up
sure.
and you guys can tell us where it was. Oh.
There, maybe?
I don't think I had one on there.
Blue couldn't have been there.
No, I wasn't on there. Shoot. I was here.
You were right there. Yeah, I remember you placed that.
Okay. So it wasn't too bad.
I couldn't be placed there either. It's possible that I could have been there. So moral of the story, when you're not streaming, that's why there's spaces between these to twist them and everything.
Lift one up.
So, all right, you're done. Dave's
Well-
not allowed to move tiles anymore.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh, you can only move tiles into the empty
Oh,
space.
what did you do, Dave? Did you swap these two? I wasn't
Yes.
even paying attention.
Yeah.
No, it's only into the empty space. Sorry.
Yeah.
So you ruined the planet
So
in
Mike
an
can
illegal
move them
move.
back.
Yeah, Mike, please.
This one goes here?
No.
Yes.
Here.
No, it was these two
those
that I
two.
did.
All right,
Yeah.
here.
That was such a wonderful plan.
Only to the empty space. I thought I made that clear. Somebody wasn't listening apparently while I was teaching.
Probably.
Inattentive.
He was inattentive. All right.
He did bring you a cool game from the 50s, though.
He did, but still.
Come on. Not that bad. It's
60s.
61.
All right.
Come
all
on.
right.
Close to the 50s, right next to it.
Sorry, Miko. I was looking at chat, and
So
this is
I'm
what
gonna-
happens. There you go.
I can slide
There.
that to the new spot and
There we
put
go.
that there. Yeah. Not my ideal situation, but what I'm left with. So I'm going to sacrifice one and go there. My first sacrifice.
Do you have to?
Oh no, I don't have
No,
to.
you're in the
Ooh,
forest. You don't
yes.
have to. So you're already in the forest here. So you do have to place one, but
Yes.
you do not have to.
And then I'll
There
get
you
next to the temple, so
There you
I'm
go.
legal.
Okay.
And then
Okay. All right. Cool. Amanda.
go
Oh,
across here.
awesome. She sent me a screenshot. So hold on. Let me see here if this is right.
It was this one.
Nailed it. Well, that one's right. So it was this
Yeah, that
tile
was the
is the one that's in question,
no,
Amanda.
that's right.
Okay.
I know
So
mine's
check
right.
that out. Okay. Continue on.
In fact, it's right there where I put that there.
Okay.
Number
Cool.
3.
That'd be me. All right. So I did this so that I could move this onto the ruin, and then I would have my choice of what I wanted to do. The only problem is that's not the tile I want to mess with.
We'll see if it lasts.
Mike had an idea.
I have
All right.
I have an Edward
So-
move.
Huh?
I have an Edward
Oh,
move.
okay. So that's one to get next to that. So next to one there, and there. So this one and this one. These are the only two I'm not adjacent to yet. All right, let's see. Trying to figure out what makes the most sense. And when you go on a ruin, you can only affect that tile, correct? So you can a ruin. Actually, I think you can do it on any one.
Yeah, I think
can
you
you
just
not?
get the
Yeah, you
action.
can do it on
Yeah.
any one. So if that's the case, so I will use my slide ability to move onto the ruin. And I should note that once you've on a ruin, you can
Can't
never
move
come
off.
off, so you can't slide off of a ruin. So now that that's done,
So that you can't come back onto the ruin later.
right.
And reuse it.
There it is. So that's one tent out there. Through the temple for a second tent. Third tent. Boom, boom. Still not on. So this is the only one I don't have one on. Cool. I'm happy with that. That'll work. Okay. Positions are correct, Franny says. Thank you.
Only the tile.
Only
where
the tile where the ruin is. Ah, fine, Miko.
I thought
I thought so,
you could
but-
affect every place. But
No.
it's good to have designer catching us on these things.
If these gods are not omnipotent,
Well, the gods are, but the ruins.
Okay, so if that's the case, maybe I don't even do that. Where did I place my... It was that one. Right?
why would you have placed that one
I wouldn't have. So where was the third? Oh, boy.
next to this temple here?
That's it. That's it. Thank you. I'm in kind of a crappy... Oh, hold on. Okay, so I will come through here, sacrifice one into the water, and then I will put one there. Then I will use my slide to move that.
Move
Which-
that one around.
Which now allows me to move stuff. Which means I will then do this. Done.
4.
That's right, Miko.
Yeah,
I
which
knew that.
I dislike
Thanks.
because that's the one that I wanted to rotate.
James cheater.
Oh, but that's okay because now the lake is there. That
Mm-hmm.
that also works for me. Because I'm right here.
I'm a team player, Matt. Carmen, game surplus. He said he ordered directly from Tony.
Sacrifice
at
one to the
Pellet
lake.
last year after Spiel.
Come in right there.
Oh, you suck.
That was mine, dude.
Oh, that and funny. That's why I moved the lake to be able to come over there for next turn. Well, guess that ain't happening. All right. And Carmen says he's been stocking it ever since. A couple of minor ding and dent copies left in stock at game surplus. Now be the time, y'all.
For a
And I
lignum.
still have a rotate.
That's awesome to read. Rand says, I got a lignum ding and dent from game surplus last week. Says you got a sharp eye for QC because that was the smallest ding I've ever seen. Thanks, man. Awesome. And that, folks, is why we have partnered with Game Surplus many moons ago.
I purchased my copy of Arkwright from Game Surplus, and it took a while to find the ding.
Yeah,
Mine
seriously.
as well, yep.
That's a good problem to have. Then.
Mhm.
Trying to find the best place for this guy. Hold on.
When in doubt,
I think
sacrifice
I'm gonna
it
go there just to get the.
for the ruin.
For the ruin later.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, you guys did not screw me over. I'm disappointed somehow. And yet, I'm not. So that's on a forest. So
Yep.
I'll get that.
It's going to be a pretty high-scoring game, then, I think.
I'm not adjacent to this anymore.
Oh man, I'm sorry. No,
It's just
wait.
terrible.
Well, hold on. There, I'm over it. Okay,
I'm,
yep.
I'm
All
glad
right.
you're over it. Oh, it's just so terrible.
So in other words, Miko, he's going through all the different scenarios. So the sun scenario allows you to do what I just tried to do before. It allows you, if it's
okay,
adjacent
that
to where
makes
that
sense.
is, then you can use the ruin on any tile. So, see, and I'm going to make the excuse that I read that, and during the teach.
Except that you wouldn't have been adjacent to being in the corner.
All right. Oh God, I've only got 2 left. Crap.
Can't you rotate yet? Or move?
He can do anything he wants. It's
Yeah.
just nothing he does is terribly
Exciting.
exciting. That's too bad. All right, let's do this.
No, let's not. There's no need for that, Mike. Yeah. Appropriately colored table, by the way, for this, with all the water out there and the water scenario.
Yeah, they're just a bunch of floating islands.
Right, that's all they are. That
Oh, that is so much less
Like on
impressive
gears.
A move than I thought
That's
it
tomorrow.
was going to be.
Right.
I can't get into here. That's too bad.
Well, you can. He just drowns.
Yes. I'm going to put one there,
Yep.
and I'm going to put one there.
Keep in mind that it's not scoring you any additional points, but it gets you on edges, right? Which is the
Correct.
important
And
thing.
it blocks other
potentially.
people.
And that as well. Mike? All right, 3 turns left, fellas.
That was the thing when I first played it. The game went too fast,
Yeah.
and I just went. "Ugh, I don't think it's changed much, actually."
I think that, and Carmen says he's gonna GM a Dokmus tournament at WBC this year, or well, next year, 2018. That would be cool. That's one I feel like I probably won't be competitive in, but I think I would like to play, and I will probably get smoked, but I think that would be really cool. Yes, Mike. Somebody unpause him. Hold on.
I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Gonna do that.
All right, I know what God I need. Really? Really? Really?
Pray harder.
Apparently. Well, fine. Fine. So I've told this story before. It might have even been yesterday, but we were walking in, or on the podcast, anyway, recently. We were walking through Spiel on on setup day, on Wednesday. There you go. So, well, actually, Erefel is number 4 now. Okay? All right? So, yes, I support this. Go ahead, Matt. Take your turn. I'll finish story time later.
I'm going to go there, sacrifice 1.
For the forests. Dude, you suck so hard.
And I believe I'm on all the tiles next to something.
1, 2, 3, 4,
You're already there.
5, 6,
Just
7. Yeah, he knows he is.
Yeah, I was already on that one. That was just an extra point. That was the important one.
That was just a. Yeah.
Drive it home.
Yep.
Got it.
So under the ruin, so that happens immediately. I support this move. Carry on. Okay. And so sacrifice right now is what? 5, 5, 4, 0. Wow. Interesting. All right. Hey, Michael. So while Mike's paused, we were walking through the hall on setup day, and we walked past the Lot of Pellet booth, and I was explaining to Amanda, hey, they have Dokmus, Flamme Rouge, and other games, and we keep walking past it because we didn't want to bother everybody while they were setting up. And we hear, Edward, Amanda, turn around, and it's Miko at the Lot of Pellet booth, and he was excited to meet us, and I'm like, that's backwards. I was excited to meet Miko. So that was pretty cool, and that's when we found out. I was like, yeah, we're hoping to pick up a copy of the Dokmus expansion later. He's like, here, take it now. And I told him that I would let him know when we're going to review it and or stream it. And he's like, oh, you don't have to. I'm a subscriber. And I'm like, that's awesome. That's really cool. That was very cool. All right. So, wow.
That is cool.
And it's me. So number
It is
5.
you.
Last but not least. Okay. That worked out. So we will go ahead. There. Bloop. Splish splash, I was taking a bath. I'm now on all 8. Now it's just a matter of...
Oh, glory around there. I needed that one for my 8 points.
Ooh, yeah. Glory to Rome.
Yeah,
Oh, is
between you two.
Oh, for you too, or is that?
No. I was just confirming.
He was just confirming my...
I'm bearing witness to your pain.
yes.
Testify.
So I'm not in a forest here, so unfortunately I can't place my last one there on the road. So what can I make use of that doesn't require a sacrifice that actually helps me down the road? Oh, it would be... There's that. Because I'm still not on this tile, am I? Or still...
You're not
Not.
next to a temple.
Correct. Well, let's change that. So I'll place that there, and I will slide this one there. Done. All right. Penultimate round, fellas.
Yeah.
Oh, Miko says I can't. Oh, because it's a road, right. So if that's the... You know what? Don't worry about it. I can do it next turn. That's fine. Cool. Thank you. Thank you, sir. All right. So, you know what? Actually, I'll do this. Right? I knew that, Miko. Just brain cramp. Okay. All right. So what's left? So, well, Erefel's out. So number 2 and Erefel were not chosen. Number 1, oh, that'd be me. That way I'm first going into the last choice as well. So mine are going to be just point getters. So that's going to be 1. That's going to be 2. And my last one. So right now we're at 6, 5, and 5. So
You just sit him on a volcano somewhere.
that's exactly what he's thinking about doing. Is he's going to die a hero.
Got a bunch of options there.
And he's just ah. Okay, done. Number 3.
That's me. Alright, I'm just gonna slide that guy right there, right onto the ruin. I'm gonna take this tile and move it up there. That's what I got left. I'm gonna sacrifice a guy to the drink.
Stop
He's
that.
He's gonna hit right there. Oh, he's gonna slide right over there.
Nice move. Good job.
So as I understand the rules, you can't move through him even on the road.
Correct. You cannot pass a tent that is on a road that's blocking you on the road.
Right.
You have to circumvent. So you could go here, there, sacrifice one to go there. That's the only way around. All right, number 4.
How do I have one more left?
You
Hold
may
on.
not have placed one.
Hold on. You slid.
I slid.
No,
I
yeah,
slid.
so you have one more.
I do
You
have one more.
Yep. Oh, this hurts my brain. There's no doubt about this game. We'll talk about it more here at the end.
Any one placement extra points anywhere currently?
Oh.
No.
And you're red, huh?
Oh.
We'll just.
Yep, on the other side, just the block. All right.
There's water there. It
Number
could be
4.
handy.
Number 4.
Flip that, and we're going to rotate this one here like this. I'm on a road. On a road.
You are, in fact, on a road.
Yeah. Pretty happy about that.
So skip a spot there.
And then I can go right next to it.
Yep. One placement left.
Can I rotate 2 tiles?
If this one turn,
Probably
no,
not.
sir, you cannot. Not unless you find a ruin you can get onto. Then you can. Which are all the... No, there's one ruin left over there. I think that's it.
Still. I'm going, yeah.
I don't think I've ever played a game where I have been able to get on all the temples of one tile. That's a really hard one to do.
Well, I thought I had a chance, and I still need one there. And how can I help myself? I could go there, rotate, that doesn't...
Yeah, this is tricky, man.
That's hard. Hard. Well, let's do that.
All right, Mike.
The Swiss Army knife of the old gods.
It slices. It dices.
It even makes julienne fries.
Right.
I'm glad the Ninja Turtles reference was not.
One in the drink. 2 up here. 3 next to the temple. And I'm on all 6. All 8.
All right. Will you stop with the sacrificing? 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6.
Somebody has to die every round.
Apparently.
Can't make an omelet without breaking a few tins.
Or you don't have to kill anybody and be a nice guy.
All right.
You don't have your cultist card unless you're sacrificing.
I see. So
Haven't made
that is not a
offering to a
forest.
volcano yet, so that needs to be next. Oh look, there's a convenient volcano.
So I'm looking at what I could do first for this to be a viable. Ooh, there it is. Okay, got it. Okay. Rob continuing that that reference, the as seen on TV.
Oh, come on, people.
Yeah, you can go last to get it.
People can die first. People can die last.
But people will die.
People will die.
You're an Old Testament God.
Just, yep. What is the line from Civ 6? Computers are like Old Testament gods. Lots of rules and no
Might as well
mercy.
give him what I had.
Okay,
Maybe.
yep. So I'm not surprised that nobody took number 1. So Erefel is number 2. Erefel is first.
All right. Now, what am I going to do with it is the question. There's no moving going on. Oh, yeah. Well, not sacrifice there
Okay.
to go there.
That's some serious rafting that could take place on this right here.
But we will sacrifice here to go there.
Okay, and done. So that puts you at 7.
Number.
Yeah, it's me. It's number 3. All right, so first and foremost, we're going to move that along a road. It can move 2. It's in a forest.
There you go.
So there's 1. That's 2. And you know what? If I can't score, he's going to die a hero. And I don't see anywhere he can, so he's going to be like,
He had lots of choices.
Done.
There was here, here.
Right, yeah. Well,
here.
he's already sacrificed 1 there. Figure it's the same mountain range, so we wanted
I see.
to divvy it up a little bit. All right.
Spread the blood around. Disco volcano.
All right,
Have
fair
I broken
point
you,
there,
Dave?
Matt, but
You're next.
All
right.
Oh, yeah. Flip
Yep.
it over.
yeah, I knew you were 5, right?
Well, I'm just trying to decide which place I'm going to turn. I have 2 choices. So I knew that nobody could mess me up.
All right, bring it home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Klaus is back.
There and there.
Are you on all the tiles except for 1?
Yes.
Oh, then it's a non-decision, right?
Well, I was thinking I could turn this one and then go across water
you sure?
and
Yep.
catch it there, or I can turn this one
Fair
and
enough.
continue not sacrificing my people. So that's what I'll do.
All right.
I was just trying to figure out a way I could go. You know, but it won't happen. I don't think I can get another point anywhere.
All right, I'm gonna
You
get.
might want to go the other way there and get next to the yellow instead of the red. That'd give you 1 more point. Give you
That
another
would
point.
give me an extra point, yeah.
If you went this way and then put it there,
Yeah,
that's 1
let's do
extra
that.
point
Yeah.
there. All right, so we have reached the end of the game.
Thank you,
Oh,
Matt.
got one more.
One more person.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Got
sorry.
one more.
Go for it.
So we presently have a 3-way tie for most number of sacrificial tents, I believe.
Yes.
We will remedy this.
There we
As
go.
long as you kill 1.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
And
by the
moonwalk.
power of the old gods.
There we go. 5. Now we have reached the end of the game. So now we go into final scoring, just going to follow along this. However, the first thing we're going to do is everybody on all 8 tiles?
Yes.
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 Because
Yes.
we're all heavy cardboard players.
Right.
What did you expect?
Right, fair enough. So we all get 27 points. So start us at 27. So if everybody gets 27, nobody gets 27. All right, so now we'll go player by player. So, okay, fine. I'm first, so I'll go through this. So each tent that's on a ruin, so we'll do all one player. So that's going to be 1 point, 2 points for a small temple, 3 points for a large temple. All right, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, nothing. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, nothing. 9, 10, 11, nothing. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and an even 20 on that. Go ahead.
22, 25, 27.
So 27 and 27, 54. And
Deck of cards with jokers.
done.
I guess I'm next.
All right. Oh, and I should point out that nobody made it to all the temples on one tile, which will be 8 points. Which if you
Did
look
you slide
carefully,
over?
if you no,
He took one off.
I took
Oh,
one off.
okay.
So if you look carefully, you can see that almost is worth 0 points, Dave, and it's your turn.
It's helpful of him to
Yeah.
point that out.
I was really trying to figure out how to get to that next to that other yellow temple over there because I'd have been
Yeah.
all 3 on that one,
There you go. All right, cool.
but couldn't make it happen.
Well, okay. I got 3, 4, 5. And this one doesn't count
it does not
the
because it's
same
already the same temple, so that's 5.
6,
7.
7, 8, 9, and 3 is 12, and these don't count. And 3 more is 15, and 3 more is 18, 19, 20, 23,
And 2
25.
more is 25. Yep, and done. Mike?
Green team. 3 points. 6 points. 8. 9. 12. 15. 18. 21. 23.
And 6 more is 29, which means 56.
Yep.
Okay, and go for it.
3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 26.
29, 31.
Well played.
Yes, sir.
So that's 58. All right, now we have the majorities over here, which the majorities there, it's 5, 3, and 1 respectively. 5 for green. And if there is a tie, each tied player receives the full points for their position in the table. So we're tied, so 3 points and 3 points. And now I actually have to look up what the tiebreaker is.
I would have had 60.
Let me look. In case of a tie, players receive... Nope. I don't see a tie. Victory points based on sacrifice in a tie... No.
I wonder who we could consult.
Yeah. Hey, Miko? I think ties are tied. Oh, wait. The player with the most victory points declared the winner. In the case of a tie, the player with the most sacrifice tokens wins the tie. Sweater Mike brings it
Wins
home.
by blood, as
Yes,
is
by
appropriate.
So, Mike and Matt tie at 61.
So still second.
The streak continues.
57 and third, me and Dave. Thank you for playing at 56. 2. Awesome. All right, so thoughts on the base game first, and then what you think the expansion brings to it. So base game first, fellas.
This game doesn't allow you much room for errors. For instance, not realizing that I could slide there, even though I played this game, I think 5 or 6 times. There's no excuse for it. It's just, I forgot. I've liked it every time I played it. I've played a lot over at Tony and Robin's house because they enjoy it.
Right.
So, gosh, it's a fun game and it's quick.
Yep.
You know.
Okay, so we've talked about puzzles before, right? And there's this kind of a split decision amongst folks about whether they like puzzles. People in our orbit here like games, but not necessarily puzzles. This is both.
It is.
Oh my
It is.
God.
And it's the epitome of an interactive puzzle because what you're doing completely affects what happens
certainly.
for the other players, right?
So there's a map within the map, right? There's all the group theory that goes into rotating and translating this stuff around. So the map you see is not really the map. It's not all of the map that you have available to you. I just love that part of it. So yeah, puzzle and game.
Colors and adjacency. So as long as I've got those two things, I'm happy. But it jives with the way my brain works on some level. I don't know. I feel like I've played this so much I can see the matrix a little bit. Like see how like if I move this and then move that and move that and move that, and I could probably play my whole game, but if it wasn't for you guys moving things, I could probably figure out the whole thing beginning to end, but it never works out that way.
So fan, though?
Oh, absolutely.
So for me, I'm the opposite of Matt, that my brain does not work that way, and so I continually surprise myself, both in what I find in ways I can move, as well as, oh wow, that was a really clever move that one of y'all make, and really amazed at how I'm like, I never would have seen that move. So well done. And because it's such a challenge for me, spatial stuff I don't do real well with. I really, really enjoy this, and I like the impact that turn order has, but not just how important it is to go first. It doesn't matter that I was picking last. It's what my God tile is dictates the order in which I take my action. So
Right.
I always have, well, with the new expansion now, you always have 3 choices instead of 2. And I like that you're usually, early or late options. I like that, okay, make your own option on that.
I want to talk about this guy.
Okay, sure.
When I saw him and heard the explanation,
Yeah.
I went, you know what? I'm going to try to get... Because I know what this point score is here, and it's always a race for sacrifices. And I went, no, I'm not going to sacrifice anybody. I'm going to use that god, and I'm going to move with him.
Okay. So let's talk about the expansion then, fellas.
So his strategy was go with God.
Yeah.
Had to get that out. Sorry.
So the expansion, I think it does what an expansion should do, in my opinion. Extremely low overhead for rules. I mean, it takes 30 seconds to go over the differences. Okay, I'm exaggerating. Maybe 2 minutes to go over the differences, but it adds depth to the game.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it's supposed to do as an expansion, I feel like.
And it still doesn't change the game.
Right. That's why I'm,
Yeah.
it's the same game with a little bit of tweaks and a little bit here and there.
That's true. So many expansions change the soul of a game, and this one does not.
Yep.
It makes it a bit deeper.
Yeah, I don't know why you would play without it at this point, really.
Yep.
There's no reason not to.
So there are 4 tiles that we took out of the game for the expansion map, or for the expansion tiles. So I'm of the mind that you just shuffle up all of them, and whatever 8 come out, and then you shuffle up one of the 2 scenarios. You flip it, the scenario that you choose, whatever side it lands on, boom, that's what you're playing. And I think that totally works. So yeah, I think it doesn't overstay its welcome, and it's perfect for what it is for a thinky filler. So yeah, I think it's a win. Well done, Miko. All right, so let's see here. Everyone's very, very excited for Matt, or for Mike, sorry, or Klaus, sorry. Let's see.
And Matt. I saw the congratulations.
Miko says, thanks for a
Consistency.
great playthrough. Life goal achieved. Got a glory to Rome with the game I designed.
And it was a good one. There was
Right.
no hesitation on that one.
Good stuff. Yep. All right. Cool. Dave says the expansion looks really good. The roads are nice. The extra guardian is nice, but the effects that make the gap do something, those I really like. Yep. Good stuff. All right. Yep. So we have, what do we got? 16 more days to go. Thanks everybody for joining us both live. Miko, thanks for joining us for playing through your game. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah,
And-
what a treat.
Yeah, seriously, it's always fun when designer or publisher or developer or artist is in the peanut gallery. It definitely is pretty cool. So good stuff. Fellas, thanks for joining me on this. We'll be back tomorrow with day 7 of #HC Advent, which is Zolkin with Your Painted Gears.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so take care, everybody. Thanks. Don't forget, like, subscribe. And for the 604 patrons that we have, we appreciate it. If you want to support the show, consider doing so. PledgeHC.com. We definitely appreciate it. And with that, say goodnight, fellas.
Good night,
Good night.
fellas.
Good night.